prepare for trouble, and for this box, let's make a double. Hello everyone, my name is Elspeth. This is the Planeswalker Pantheon. Today I am going to be opening up a whole regular box of Double Masters. This is the latest Masters set that Wizards has put out for Magic the Gathering. It's double everything. You get double the rares, you get double the foils. And let's put it this way, I've seen people draft the set and it looks like double the fun. Anyways, let's get into this, shall we? Get rid of... Alright, and get rid of this. And because this is double masters, we also get double the box toppers. So there's 2 box toppers in this little pack right here. But we'll save that for the end. Alright. First pack. Got a Kozilek's Predator, Glaze Fiend, Goblin Cavalier, Sanctum Gargoyle, Cathodian, Vidalcan Infuser, Chatter of the Squirrel, Thraben Inspector, which is one of my favourite white cards ever, Uvenwald Mysteries is our first uncommon, Vampire Hexmage is our second uncommon, Galvanic Blast is our third uncommon, and our rare is a Ratchet, well, first rare actually, is a Ratchet Bomb. So Ratchet Bomb, for 2 colours you get an artifact. You can tap to put a charge counter on Ratchet Bomb, and you can tap and sacrifice Ratchet Bomb to destroy each non-land permanent with a converted mana cost equal to the number of charge counters on Ratchet Bomb. Our second rare is Council's Judgment. So this is originally printed in Conspiracy, the first Conspiracy set. There might have been a second print in the Mystery Boosters, I can't remember, but this has seen a lot of play on Legacy. So for 1 and 2 white, you get a sorcery that has Will of the Council. Starting with you, each player votes for a non-land permanent you don't control. Exile each permanent with the most votes or tied with the most votes. And our foils, you get a Thraben Inspector and an Elvish Aberration, and we've got a Soldier. Next. We have a Darksteel Axe, Elvish Aberration, a Braid. This is a really neat downshift from uncommon to common for those who play Pauper. Twisted Abomination, Chromatic Star, nice little common there for those who play Tron. Magnifying Glass, Apprentice Wizard, Crib Swap. Our first uncommon is Sentinel of the Pearl Trident. Our second uncommon is Thopter Foundry, great for those who play the Thopter Sword decks in Modern. Trash for Treasure is our third uncommon. This was actually downshifted from rare to uncommon for this set. Our first rare is Ravenous Trap, so this is one of those unfortunate upshifts. So for 2 and 2 black, you get an instant trap. If an opponent has 3 or more cards put into their graveyard from anywhere this turn, you may pay 0 rather than pay the spell's mana cost. Exile all cards from target player's graveyard. Our second rare is Sundering Titan. So for 8 mana, you get an artifact creature golem. It's a 10/7. When Sundering Titan enters the battlefield or leaves the battlefield, choose a land of each basic land type, then destroy those lands. Our first foil is a Goblin Cavalier, and our second foil is an Iron Bully, and we've got a Human Soldier. Alright. Let's go for the next one. We've got a Cathartic Reunion, Bloodbriar, Cast Down. This is another really cool shift from uncommon to common for those who play Pauper. This is basically just a guaranteed removal spell. Weapon Surge, Ichor Wellspring, Cloud Reader Sphinx, Chromatic Star, Alabaster Mage. Our first uncommon is Hidden Stockpile. Second uncommon is Invigorate, which actually does see play in Legacy for those who love to play Infect. Our third uncommon is a Mearsmith, and our first mythic is a Chrome Mox. So for 0 mana, you get an artifact. You can imprint it when it enters the battlefield. You may exile a non-artifact, non-land card from your hand, and you can tap to add mana of any one of the exiled card's colours. So if you say put a 5-colour spell in there, it can tap for all 5 colours. And And our other rare is Walking Ballista. So for 2x, you get an artifact creature construct. Walking Ballista, and when Walking Ballista enters the battlefield, it enters the battlefield, with X +1/+1 counters on it. You can pay 4 to put a +1/+1 counter on the Ballista, and you can remove a counter to deal 1 damage to any target. Unfortunately, banned in Pioneer as of recently, but it's still playable in Modern, and it still sees some fair play there. Got a foil Metallic Rebuke. That looks really nice in the foil. I hope the camera can catch that. And we got a foil Expedition map. This is, again, another nice foil for those who love to play Tron. And a blue Mia. Alright, so let's start our next pack. Alright, so first we've got a Bone Picker, Skinbrand Goblin, Ancient Stirrings, great for those who love to play Tron in Modern. Rapacious Dragon, another downshift actually from uncommon to common. Ica Wellspring, Parasitic Strix, Skinwing, Remember the Fallen. Our first uncommon is a Treasure Keeper. Our second uncommon is an O Naginata. Our third uncommon is a Yavimaya Embrace. And our rare is actually one of the filter lands. This is the black-white one. So Fetid Heath is a land that can tap to add colours, or you can pay a black or a white and tap it to filter it into either double white, or double black. Our second rare is Maze of Ith. It's more of a spell than a normal land, as it doesn't tap for mana. However, you can tap the Maze of Ith, untap target attacking creature, prevent all combat damage that would be dealt to and dealt by that creature this turn. And our foils is a foil of Braid, which is really nice, and a Skinwing, and a regular Servo. Next pack. Alright, so we have an Abrade, Supernatural Stamina, Ancient Stirrings, Fairy Mechanist, Surge Node, Golem Skin Gauntlets, Steel Sabotage, Remember the Fallen, Ravenous Intruder is our first uncommon. Our second uncommon is an Oubliette, which is great because this is its first printing, I think, since like Invasion, and this will be the first foil printing, so the foils will be worth a little bit of money for those who play Mono Black and Pauper. Cogwork Assembler is our third uncommon, and our first rare is a Rugged Prairie. So this is the red-white version of the filter land. So instead of black-white, you can pay red or white, and it'll filter that into double red, red-white, or double white. And our rare... it is a Mana Crypt. So for 0 mana, it's an artifact. At the beginning of your upkeep, you flip a coin. If you lose the flip, Mana Crypt deals 3 damage to you, and you can tap it for double colorless. This box has just made its money back. I'm happy with that one. Woo! I'm sorry. And our four is a Silumgar Scavenger and a Treasure Mage. Wow, that blue really pops on the Treasure Mage. And we've got a treasure. Damn right we got a treasure. Let me separate our mythics out. Alright. Next pack. Okay. Yep, I'm good. I'm good now. Alright. Next pack. Got a Battle Rattle Shaman, which has actually been downshifted as well from uncommon to common. Revoke Existence. Conclave Naturalists. Cloud Reader Sphinx. Costly Plunder. Ica Wellspring. Parasitic Strix. Strength of Arms. Buried Ruin is our first uncommon. Rush of Knowledge is our second uncommon. Pyreworld Shaman is our third uncommon. This is flip-flop from common to uncommon. Actually, from rare to uncommon to common. Back up to uncommon, I believe was the order. This was originally printed in Return to Ravnica block, if I remember correctly. And our first rare is High Market. So you can tap to add a colorless, or you can tap and sacrifice a creature to gain 1 life. Neat. And we've got a Sword of Light and Shadow. So for 3 mana, it's an artifact equipment. Equipped creature gets +2/+2 and has protection from white and black. Whenever equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, you gain 3 life. You may return up to 1 target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. Cool! So that's 3 mythics. We've got a Bloodbriar as our first foil, and a Darksteel Citadel as our second foil. And we're going to tuck the return token. That's really neat, actually. Alright, next up. Could this box get better? I don't know. We've got a Silumgar Scavenger, Deathwood Cobra, Tumble Magnet, Direfleet Hoarder, Chatter of the Squirrel, Metallic Rebuke, Flare Husk, Angel of the Dawn, Invigorate is our first uncommon. We have a Hinder, we have an Ash Barrens, and our first rare is Kalia of the Vast. This has actually been a creature I've always kind of been interested in, because Mardu is probably my favourite 3-colour combination. If you don't know what Kalia of the Vast does, it's a 1 red, white, and a black legendary creature, human cleric. It's a flying 2/2. Whenever Kalia of the Vast attacks an opponent, you may put an angel, demon, or dragon creature card from your hand onto the battlefield, tapped and attacking that opponent. Nice! Our second rare is a Reese the Redeemed. So for a single Selesnya hybrid, you get a legendary creature, Elf Warrior. For 2 and a green or a white, and tap it, create a 1/1 green and white elf warrior token. And for 4 and 2 green or white and tap, for each creature token you control, create a token that's a copy of that creature. Nice. And we're going to foil Urza's Tower. But again, they pretty much printed everything you need for Tron in this set. And we're going to foil Manamorphose. Those are 2 good foils there, actually, for a pack. Manamorphose is worth some decent money, and Urza's Tower is great as well. And we've got another Blue Mia. This has been a really good box. I'm not even, like, halfway through. Like, that's kind of the weird bit about this. We have a Deathwood Cobra, a Braid, Direfleet Hoarder, Accomplished Automaton, Iron Bully, Fairy Mechanist, Gleaming Barrier, Ancestral Blade, Fencing Ace. This is another one that's sort of shifted around from uncommon to common multiple times over. In this case, it's an uncommon. Darksteel Citadel, Gore Clan Rampager, and our first rare is Inkwell Leviathan. Believe it or not, this used to be an old Tinker and Reanimate target back in the day. So, Inkwell Leviathan, for 7 and 2 blue mana, you get an artifact creature Leviathan. It has Island Walk and Trample and Shroud. It's a 7/11. That's a big inky boy there. And our second rare is a Skursdag High Priest. So, for 1 and a black, you get a creature human cleric. It's a 1/2. You can tap it and tap 2 untapped creatures you control. You create a 5/5 black demon creature token with flying. Activate this ability only if a creature died this turn. Our first foil is an Apprentice Wizard. And we've got a Brimstone Volley. And we've got an Ooze token. Let's see what else we've got in here. Got a Sylvan Might, Cathartic Reunion, Conclave Naturalist, Mere Retriever, Vidalcan Infuser, Peace Strider, Urza's Mine, Glintsleeve Artisan, Sphinx of the Guild Pact is our first uncommon, Valor in Akros is our second uncommon, our third uncommon is Reclamation Save. That's a nice one to sort of see around here again. And our first rare is Isochron Scepter. So for 2 mana, you get an artifact. When it enters the battlefield, you may exile an instant card with converted mana cost 2 or less from your hand, and pay 2 and tap it. You may copy the exiled card. If you do, you may cast a copy without paying its mana cost. So this and Dramatic Reversal, I believe, is an infinite combo. You just keep untapping your non-land permanents. Our second rare is Kemba Car Regent. So for 1 and 2 white, you get a legendary creature, Cat Cleric. It's a 2/4. At the beginning of your upkeep, you create a 2/2 white cat creature token for each equipment attached to Kemba Car Regent. Alright, and our first foil is a Goblin Artisan. And we have a foil Worm Coil Engine. On red Wormcoil Engine. So for 6 mana, get an artifact creature worm. It has Death Touch and Lifelink. It's a 6/6. When Wormcoil Engine dies, create a 3/3 colorless worm artifact creature token with Death Touch and a 3/3 colorless worm creature token with Lifelink. And we get a Thopter. Whew, boy. Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. I mean, I did say make a double, but this has been double more than what I was expecting. We have Ancient Stirrings, Defiant Salvager, Rapacious Dragon, Mere Retriever, Metallic Rebuke, Urza's Power Plant, I think we hit Tron, Peace Strider, Ancestral Blade, Sphinx Summoner is our first uncommon, Sarah's Sphinx is our second uncommon. This is was referenced in the Great Designer Search when they're asking what colours a 4/4 for 5 with Flying and Vigilance could be. So of course you've got Sarah Angel, you have this, and you have it apparently in green and black. Our third uncommon is a Basalt Monolith. That's a nice one for Commander right there. And our first rare is Sword of the Meek. So we got the Thopter Sword combo in our box. So for 2 mana, get an artifact equipment. Equipped creature gets +1/+2, and you can equip for 2. Whenever a 1/1 creature enters the battlefield under your control, you may return Sword of the Meek from your graveyard to the battlefield and then attach it to that creature. So that's real neat. Our second rare is a Duplicant. So for 6 mana, you get an artifact creature shapeshifter. When it enters the battlefield, you may exile another target non-token creature. As long as the card exiled with Duplicant is a creature, Duplicant has power, toughness, and creature types of the last creature card exiled with Duplicant. It's still a shapeshifter. So it's basically a clone effect in artifact form, really. Our foils are Relic Runner and Glazed Dust Hulk. That looks really neat in the foil. I hope I catch it there. And we've got a plant. Whew, I think I'm doubled out. I don't think this box could have gotten much better, to be honest. We have a Deathhood Cobra, Sanctum Gargoyle, Salivating Gremlins, Metal Spinner's Puzzle Knot, Eager Construct, Steel Sabotage, Golem Skin Gauntlets, Crusader of Roderick. I think this is also a downshift from uncommon, actually from rare to common, I think. I can't quite remember. Our first uncommon is a Master Splicer. Our second uncommon is a Skull Mulcher. Our third uncommon is Path to Exile, which is still somehow worth a lot of money, no matter how many times we've reprinted it. Our first rare is a Mesmeric Orb. This is actually its first reprinting since Mirrodin Block, I believe. So for 2 mana, you get an artifact. Whenever a permanent becomes untapped, that permanent's controller mills a card. There is a blue-black mill deck in Modern, guys. I hope you remember that. And this is the key piece for it. Our second rare is Joyride Weatherlight Captain, which I believe got downshifted from Mythic to Rare. So for 2, a blue and a red, you get a legendary creature human artificer. She's a 3/3. Whenever you cast a historic spell, draw a card. It's very easy to go infinite with this one. I've seen it happen. Our foils are Volshock Gauntlets, and our foil rare is a Thought Reflection. That art looks really nice in the foiling. These weren't reprinted in a long, long time. I'll put the foil rare here. They were last printed in Mirrodin, no, not Mirrodin, Lorwyn Block, if I remember correctly, and they just never had a reprint, and they just kept getting more and more expensive. Alright, so we've got a Sylvan Might, Darksteel Axe, Temur Battle Rage, which sees a lot of play in Death Shadow decks, Twisted Abomination, Magnifying Glass, Argovian Restoration, Skinwing, Thraben Inspector. Hey, we hit a Metamorphose. More of these the better. These are probably one of the better uncommons you can get in this set. Cranial Plating, rest in peace, Tron. Our third uncommon is a Selesnya Guildmage, and our first rare is Wound Reflection, so this is part of the same cycle. I should have probably read Thought Reflection, I'll do that at the end. So for 5 and a black, you get an enchantment. At the beginning of each end step, each opponent loses life equal to the life they lost this turn. Our second one is Mazarek, Kroll Death Priest. So for 3, a green and a black, you get a legendary creature, Insect Shaman. It's a 2/2 with flying. Whenever a player sacrifices another permanent, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. Ancestral Blade is our first foil, and we have a Pirate Spellbomb and a Clue. Because I didn't read Thought Reflection, I'll read this out too. So for 4 and triple blue, you get an enchantment. If you draw a card, draw 2 cards instead. Alright. So we have a Direfleet Hoarder, Whisper of the Wilds, Tumble Magnet, Divest, Urza's Tower, Surge Node, Relic Runner, Expedition Map, Ravenous Intruder is our first uncommon, Throne of Geth is our second, Dismantle is our third uncommon, and our first rare is Blasphemous Axe. So for 8 mana, you get a sorcery. This spell costs 1 less to cast for each creature on the battlefield. Blasphemous Axe deals 13 damage to each creature. Our second rare is Sculpting Steel. So for 3 mana, you get an artifact. You may have Sculpting Steel enter the battlefield as a copy of any artifact on the battlefield. And our foils are Team of Battle Rage and Tumble Magnet. And we've got an Ooze. I don't think I can ask more for out of this box, really. Like, honestly, I don't know if I can ask for more out of it. So I've got a Bone Picker, Lightning Axe with the original artwork, Glaze Fiend, Crushing Vines, Iron League Steed, Cathodian, Brainstorm. I've actually got a different artwork of this in foil and it looks really nice. Strength of Arms, Mishra's Bauble is another great uncommon to be opened in this set. Crop Rotation, Chief of the Foundry. Our first rare is Well of Ideas. So for 5 and a blue, when it enters the battlefield, you draw 2 cards. At the beginning of each other player's draw step, that player draws an additional card. At the beginning of your draw step, you draw 2 additional cards. Our second rare is a Kuldotha Forge Master. So this is part of a few combos in Commander. I can't think of any off the top of my head at the moment. But from 5 mana, you get an Artifact Creature Construct. It's a 3/5. Tap and sacrifice 3 artifacts. Search your library for an artifact card and put it into the battlefield and shuffle your library. Our foils are Revoke Existence and Whisperer of the Wilds. And we've got an Elemental token too. For, what's it called? Voice Resurgence. Next up, we have a Supernatural Summoner, Cathartic Reunion, Cast Down, Skinwing, Urza's Tower, Surge Node, Relic Runner, Angel of the Dawn, Culling Dice is our first uncommon, Auric Salvages. This is downshifted from rare to uncommon for this set. Got an Enlarge. Our first rare is Time Sieve. Again, there's like a whole heap of like weird little combos here. So Time Sieve, for a blue and a black, it can tap and sacrifice 5 artifacts, take an extra turn after this one. Our second rare is Terrastodon. So for 6 and 2 green, you get a creature elephant. It's a 9/9. When it enters the battlefield, destroy up to 3 target non-creature permanents. For each permanent put into the graveyard this way, its controller gets a 3/3 elephant creature token. Our foils, Diluvian Rage, and a Costly Plunder. And we've got a squirrel. Alright. What do we got? Goblin Gavalier, Kozilek's Predator, Twisted Abomination, Kazul's Toll Collector, Urza's Power Plant, Frogify, Everflowing Chalice, which I believe was downshifted from uncommon to common, Fortify, Auric Salvages is our first uncommon, Reclamation Sage is our second uncommon, Mokret Banshee is our third uncommon, and our first rare is Magus of the Abyss. So they've reprinted, either reprinted or made up some new Maguses. So for the Abyss, it's 3 and a black. You get a creature, human, wizard. At the beginning of each player's upkeep, destroy target non-artifact creature that player controls of their choice. It can't be regenerated, and it's a 4/3. Our second rare is Ion Storm. So for 2 and a red, you get an enchantment. You pay 1 and a red to remove a +1/+1 counter or a charge counter from a permanent you control. Iron Storm deals 2 damage to any target. Neat. So we got a foil Direfleet Hoarder and a foil Tuk Tuk the Explorer. Tuk Tuk, for 2 and a red, you get a legendary creature goblin, so 1/1 with haste. When he dies, create a Tuk Tuk the Returned, a legendary 5/5 colorless goblin golem artifact creature token. And we've got a demon. Alright, so we got a Bloodbriar, Tumble Magnet, Silumgar Scavenger, Lightning Axe, Flare Husk, Brainstorm, Pirate Spellbomb, Sanctum Spirit, Valor in Akros is our first uncommon, Flickerwisp is our second uncommon, Death Reap Ritual is our third uncommon, and our first rare is Breya, Ethereum Shaper. So for a white, a blue, a black, and a red, you get a legendary artifact creature human. When she enters the battlefield, you create 2/1/1 blue Thopter artifact creature tokens with flying. You can pay 2 and sacrifice 2 artifacts. Choose 1. Breya deals 3 damage to target creature or planeswalker. Target creature gets -4/-4 until end of turn, or you can gain 5 life, and she is a 4/4. Cool. And we got a Noble Hierarch. So for a single green, you get a creature human druid. It's an 0/1 with Exalted. You can tap it to add green, white, or blue to your mana pool. And our foils are Skinbrand Goblin and a Surge Node. Alright, next up. So we have a Supernatural Stamina, Temur Battle Rage, Cast Down, Sift, which has been downshifted from uncommon to common, Sickle Slicer, Balduvian Rage, Argavian Restoration, Fortify, Riddlesmith is our first uncommon, Kuldotha Flame Fiend is our second uncommon, Cogwork Assembler is our third uncommon, and our first mythic is Ensnaring Bridge. So for 3 mana, you get an artifact. Creatures with power greater than the number of cards in your hand can't attack. And our second rare is Godo Bandit Warlord. So for 5 and a red, you get a legendary creature human barbarian. When Godo Bandit Warlord enters the battlefield, you may search your library for an equipment card and put it onto the battlefield. If you do, shuffle your library. Whenever Godo attacks for the first time each turn, untap it and all samurai you control. After this phase, there is an additional combat phase. If you combine this with Helm of the Host, it's an infinite combo. You get infinite attack steps, basically. And our foils are Cloud Reader Sphinx and Everflowing Chalice and an Elf Warrior. So we have a Sylvan Mite, Bone Picker, Kazul's Toll Collector, Frogify, Everflowing Chalice, Urza's Mine, Eager Construct, Crusader of Odric, Fatal Push is our first uncommon. This is another great uncommon to open in this set. Bloodshot Trainee, Golem Artisan, and our first rare is Rage Reflection. So for 4 and 2 red, in enchantment, creatures you control have double strike. Our second rare is another mythic. It's Arkham Dagson. So for 3 and a blue, you get a legendary creature, Human Artificer. Tap it. Target artifact creature's controller sacrifices it. That player may search their libraries for a non-creature artifact card and put it onto the battlefield and then shuffle their library. Our foils are Angel of the Dawn and Peace Strider. That's not a bad collection of mythics. I can't really complain about that. That's a really nice setup. Silumgar Scavenger, Crushing Vines, Lightning Axe, Bloodbriar, Volshock Gauntlets, Cloud Reader Sphinx, Costly Plunder, Glint Sleeve Artisan, Oval Chase Daredevil is our first uncommon. Believe it or not, this is seeing play in Vintage of all formats. Sandstone Oracle is our second uncommon. Our third uncommon is Valorant. I remember when this was playable in Standard at the time. And our first rare is Graven Karen. So this is the black-red filter land. So again, tap to add colours, or you can pay a black or a red to filter it into double black, black red, or double red. And our second rare is Grand Architect. So for 1 and 2 blue, you get a creature Vidalcan Artificer. Out of the blue creatures you control, get +1/+1. Pay a blue to turn a target artifact creature blue. And can tap an untapped blue creature token you control. Add 2 colours. Spend this mana to only cast artifact spells or activate abilities of artifacts. So this and Pilipala is the most common combo that you see with this card. Our foils are Cast Down and a foil Mishra's Bobble. Cool. That's really neat. And a wolf. Okay, so we have a Conclave Naturalist, Salivating Gremlins, Heartless Pillage, Volshot Gauntlets, Relic Runner, Costly Plunder, Pirate Spellbomb, Alabaster Mage, Welding Jar is our first uncommon, Disciple of Vault is our second, our third uncommon is a Dread Return as a Legacy Dredge player. I love this card. I might replace my versions with the original art. Who knows? Our first rare is a Fulminator Mage. So this is one that's a bit forgotten to the world of Modern. So for 1 and 2 Rakdos and the creature Elemental Shaman, it's a 2/2. Sacrifice Fulminator Mage, destroy target non-basic land. Our second rare is a Master of Ethereum. This used to be played in Affinity back in the day. So for 2 and a blue, get an artifact creature of a Vedalken Wizard. It's a star. Master of Ethereum's power and toughness are each equal to the number of artifacts you control. Other artifact creatures you control get +1/+1. And our foils are a Core Tapper and a Woodland Champion. And we've got the Shapeshifter token. These are actually really cute. Oh, look at the happy little smile on him. Alright. 3 more packs to go, guys, before we get to our box toppers. I mean, if the rest of this box has been any indication of how crazy it is, the box toppers will be kind of nuts. Kazul's Toll Collector, Kozilek's Predator, Glaze Fiend, Iron League Steed, Corridor Monitor, Accomplished Automaton, Iron Bully, Alabaster Mage, Gelatinous Genesis is our first uncommon, Woodland Champion is our second uncommon, Brimstone Volley is our third uncommon, and our first rare is a Firelit Thicket. So this is the Gruul version of the filter land. So tap it to add a colours, or tap a green or red to filter it into a red, green, or green. Our second rare is Champion of Lambholt. So for 1 and 2 green, it's a creature human warrior, it's a 1/1. Creatures with power less than Champion of Lambholt's power can't block creatures you control. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, put a +1/+1 counter on Champion of Lambholt. So people get this confused. Basically, it's all based on Champion's power as to what creatures can't block it. It has to be less than it. And our rares are Deathhood Cobra and a foil Dread Return. Again, I might put this as in my Legacy Dredge deck just for the original art and the fact that it's foil. And we've got the Death Touch Worm to go with our Wormcoil engine. Alright, next up, Skinbrand Goblin, Divest, Rapacious Dragon, Expedition Map, Iron Bully, Corridor Monitor, Accomplished Automaton, Crib Swap. Weapons Trainer is our first uncommon, Drown in Sorrow is our second uncommon, third uncommon is a Thirst for Knowledge, and our rare, we've got a Thoughtseize. So for a single black yet a sorcery, target player reveals their hand, you may choose a non-land card from it, that player discards that card, you lose 2 life. And we've got a Skitherix, the Blight Dragon. This is one we haven't seen in a hot while. So for 3 and 2 black, you get a legendary creature, Dragon Skeleton. It has flying and infect. For a single black, you can give it haste until end of turn. For 2 black, you can regenerate it, and it's a 4/4. Got a foil Sift and a foil Lightning Greaves. That's a nice one for Commander. And we got a copy token. That's really cool. And our last normal pack before our box topper. So we have a Fierce Empath, Skinbrand Goblin, Crushing Vines, Divest, Expedition Map, Iron League Steed, Corridor Monitor, Sanctum Spirit. Veteran Explorer is our first uncommon. Topple the Statue. This has actually been upshifted from common to uncommon for this set, which, given the amount of artifacts that are in this set, it makes sense. Joyrose Familiar, or as I like to call him, Bebo. And our first rare is a Blood Moon. So for 2 and a red, you get an enchantment. Non-basic lands are mountains. Goodbye, Tron. And our second rare is a Mere Battlesphere. So for 7 mana, you get an artifact creature Mere Construct. It's a 4/7. When it enters the battlefield, create 4 1/1 colorless Mere artifact creature tokens. Whenever Mere Battlesphere attacks, you may tap X untapped Mere you control. If you do, Mere Battlesphere gets +X/+0 until end of turn and deals X damage to target player or planeswalker it's attacking. And our foils are Remember the Fallen and an Ica Wellspring. And we're an Eldrazi Spawn token too. Alright, now for the main event, guys. It's time for our Double Masters box toppers. Now, I'm just going to be very careful. Okay, I don't think I could have opened it much better than that. And if you buy boxes of Double Masters, you will get double the fun in 2 box toppers. Okay, there we go. Alright, so we get 2 box toppers right here. Alright, our first one is a Meddling Mage. So for white and a blue, you get a creature human wizard. As Meddling Mage enters the battlefield, you choose a non-land card name. Spells with the chosen name can't be cast. And our last card that we're going to see from this set is a Stoneforge Mystic. So that's a nice one. Stoneforge Mystic. So for 1 and a white, you get a creature core artificer. When Stoneforge Mystic enters the battlefield, you may search your library for an equipment card, reveal it, and put it into your hand. Shuffle your library. And for 1 and a white, you may put an equipment card from your hand onto the battlefield. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. This box has been a hell of a ride. Please like, share, favorite, subscribe. Let people know that this channel exists. I'd love to get more people watching the content. You can follow me on Twitter. Links are down below. You can also follow the Planeswalker Pantheon on Facebook, where we try and get content onto that page as often as possible. I have been neglecting doing that lately. I've been mostly using it as a platform to put the videos onto. But I would love to get back into putting more content on the page itself. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you later. Hey everyone, it's Elspeth again. I just realised that in the excitement to open this box of Double Masters, which we know was crazy, I didn't actually get a chance to showcase the promos, which I normally do whenever I open boxes. I'll usually have the promos sort of stacked in front of the box when I start the videos. I really realized this after I started cleaning up, but I had the promos thankfully on hand, so they weren't missing or gone anywhere, so I figured I'd give them a little bit of sort of a showcase time. So if you happen to get your hands on a box of Double Masters, you get 2 promos. Of course, it's Double Masters, you're going to get two of stuff. So the first promo, they're both foil. The first promo you get is Chord of Calling, which is a little bit of a shame because I literally completed my playset of these not too long ago before everything sort of happened. So if you're not familiar with what Chord of Calling does, it's a modern staple. For X and triple green, it's an instant, and you can convoke it, which means you can use your creatures to tap it to add mana. Search your library for a creature card with converted mana cost X or less, and put it into your library, then put it into the battlefield and shuffle your library. So that's the first one. Second one that I got was, it's a classic, you know, it's been there since basically the start of Magic. It's a good old Wrath of God. Let's look at that foiling there. So for 2 and 2 white, you get a sorcery. You destroy all creatures. They can't be regenerated. So both of those are sort of staples in modern, or at least they're very, very iconic cards at the very least. And as a thank you from my LGS, because I purchased this box of Double Masters, always support your local LGS, especially in these hard times. I also gotten 2 more of the Love Your LGS promos, which you'll probably see when I open up my Core 21 box, which I still haven't opened yet. So you get a Mecha Godzilla, which is a Godzilla version that they did of Ikoria, like an Ikoria, but of Hangerback Walker. So for 2x, you get an artifact creature construct. It's a 0/0. It enters the battlefield with X +1/+1 counters on it. When it dies, create a 1/1 Thopter for each +1/+1 counter on it. You can pay 1 and tap it to put a +1/+1 counter on it. and the Reliquary Tower, which is really neat. I just wanted to show these off. I felt kind of bad that I didn't have them at the start of the video. I should have thought about it, but I was just so excited to get into this box of Double Masters that I just completely forgot to show it off, and I feel a little bit bad about it, so I figured I'd quickly film this to sort of show them off. Anyway, guys, like I said, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like, share, favorite, subscribe, comment, do everything you can to let people know that this channel exists. I have been enjoying opening these boxes for you because it's nice to share it, especially in times like this. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.